The calls, who would you back for PM, Boris Johnson or Theresa May? Hassan wants to speak to us from Slough. Go for it, Hassan.
Hi, thanks, Majid.
Salam, Hassan.
I'll be backing Theresa May, and it has been quite unfortunate to witness some of the fracas within my party. But having said that, and this is a point I made to John Redwood and Simon Heffer recently on LBC Radio, and I'll be giving the same message to Boris, is that we should be backing the Prime Minister 100% of the way, because only when we're united, then she will have a stronger negotiating position with Europe. And if we back her, then the country will back her. So that will be my message to Boris.
And it's clearly transparent what's going on here, but were you surprised by the polls that in terms of negative ratings, 57%, and that's the kind of, I say, the highest negative, in other words, the least popularity goes to Boris Johnson. He's the least popular among voters as being perceived as doing a good job as PM.
Well, I'm not surprised with that. I never supported Boris Johnson. In fact, when there was an opportunity for him to step up to the leadership last year, he actually withdrew. So I'm a bit surprised that he's gunning for that, if he is, this time round.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me of that, actually, because that was actually, it typifies the unpredictability, the Trump-like nature of his personality, in the sense that everyone thought he would go for the leadership after the Brexit thing, and simply because Michael Gove declared his hand, Boris had hurty feelings and decided to stand down.
Yeah, well, that's very generous of Boris. Maybe he could do the same with Theresa May.
Yeah.
One thing I have to disagree with Boris when he says that Theresa should not be copying from Jeremy, or we shouldn't be copying from Jeremy Corbyn. It's actually the other way round. When I heard John McDonnell announce the National Inclusive Fund last week, it's where workers in the company can own up to 1% of the shares of that company. Great. I love the word ownership, but here it's a group of individuals owning shares rather than the government. So in fact, Labour are actually gravitating towards the Conservatives. They're the ones who are copying us.
He said up to 10%, Hassan, I think he said, John McDonnell, because I covered it on my show. In fact, I'm returning to it for the next hour. If anyone's interested, we're going to return to some of the, I think, quite interesting economic suggestions coming from the Labour Party of late. And I'll tell you and I'll summarise why if you stay tuned after the news at 1. But I think, Hassan, if memory serves me correctly, he said up to 10% of the shares.
That's the cap. The upper cap is 10%, yes.
Yeah.
But having said that, I also listened to Keir Starmer and had to listen to him twice last week to actually understand what exactly is the alternative Labour is proposing. And there is none. And if anything, I think the only silver lining behind this cloud within a Conservative fracas is if alternatives are going to come out from the party, it's actually coming out of the Conservative Party. It's not coming out of Labour.
All right, Hassan, thank you very much for calling in there.